Chicago supplier. TV.com. Go ahead and fuck with it.
Alright, we got JAYY in the building. What's going on, JAYY? How's it going?
What's the word? What's the word?
Not
I'm tuned in with DJ Key Product with this interview, so I appreciate, the interview.
Alright. We're gonna go ahead and get started. How did you get started in this business?
Well, I mean, it was a process actually. I started off in church. I started off in church. I started playing the drums, at a young age. Playing for the children's division of my church, which is Fellowship. Shout out to Fellowship Chicago. Then I graduated to the youth division. Played the drums for the youth choir, and then from there, I started gigging at different churches and stuff like that. Playing with different artists. Then I got into producing. Got FL Studio. Me and of course you, Key Product. We got to creating beats on FL Studio. Played around with that. Then from there, that turned into me rapping, and that started 2 years ago. I was shopping around my beats to different artists and so forth. They really didn't do too much with the production that I was giving them, and so I was like, well, I really want to have some artists and some vocals on my beats and my tracks. So I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and do it myself then. So I started writing, got to writing, and then I started, rapping. So I put my own vocals on my own beats and stuff like that. Then, I started using your tracks, of course, and and here we are. So yeah, it was a whole process, because I do everything. I'm a drummer, producer, songwriter, rapper. I dabble with singing a little bit, but I do it all, and I enjoy what I do. I really do, and I just give God all the glory and honor and praise. All the gifts come from Him. So yeah.
Alright, so how is your style different from other artists? How do you describe your music? Is your music like turn up music? Is it conscious? And how is your sound different than what's out today?
Well, I think it's different because you can't really categorize me. I'm all over the place. I can hop on a jazz record. I can hop on a rock record. I can hop on a hip hop record, a conscious record, a pop record. I'm a musician. Musicians do everything. We're not into one set genre. So I think that's what makes me different from everybody else, because I can adapt to any genre. I can do any genre, and because of the fact that I do actually play an instrument, and I just feel like, for me, and this is my opinion, people who actually play an instrument have a slight advantage than someone per se who they just rap or they just sing and so forth. Not taking nothing away from rappers and singers and people who just do that, but I just feel like, if you learn an instrument, learn how to play an instrument, and get into reading music, because I don't read, but I would like to get into that. I just feel like you have a slight advantage, personally.
Alright, what made you say, I'm gonna start writing my own songs, I'm gonna start rapping and taking it seriously, I'm gonna start, doing all of this on my own? What made you say that?
But yeah, like I stated earlier, it's because, I was shopping around my beats to different people, but, they just weren't, I guess they weren't feeling it, or, they just didn't do it in a timely fashion. So I was like, I really want some vocals on these beats that I'm making. And so I was like, man, I just took it upon myself to do it on my own. I'm not gonna wait for nobody else to do nothing. So I was like, man, I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. So I just started writing. I just started. I was just like, man, I'm gonna just go ahead and write some music, because I always said that I was gonna start writing music, even while I was, just strictly doing producing and just strictly being a drummer. I always said, you know, I'm gonna write some music one day. And so that day came. I wrote my first song. Um, I forgot what my first song was, but you know, I started off with that, and then it just continued on from there. And so, you know, I really enjoyed the whole writing process. I enjoyed the recording process, actually recording vocals, and it's a lot to it. It really is. You know, it's a lot into, you know, writing a song. You know, making sure that everything is structured correctly. You know, with the cadence. You know, just, it's got to rhyme, obviously, but it's got to also make sense. And when I write music, I want to make sure that people um, gain something from what I'm trying to tell them, whether that's a turn up beat or anything. You know, I want my music to invoke a feeling, because that's what music is supposed to do. It's supposed to make you laugh. It's supposed to make you cry. It's supposed to make you feel something. And that's what I want to do. I want my music to make you feel something at the end of the day.
All right, all right. When you're in the studio or when you're writing a song, what is the process like? Take me through the process of you creating new music.
So it starts off really a few ways. First way, I'll make the beat. So whatever feeling that I'm feeling at that point in time, I just make that beat. So if I'm feeling R&B-ish, I'm gonna make an R&B beat. If I'm feeling trap-ish, I'll make a trap beat. Whatever I'm feeling, I'll make that beat to what I'm feeling. Then it goes from me making the beat to me actually writing the song. So whatever the feeling the beat gives off, that's what song I'm gonna write. So like I said, if it's like an R&B type vibe, I'm gonna write something for the ladies, a love song, you know, something dedicated to the women. If it's a trap song, then I'm gonna write something, you know, trappy, you know, or something that's like turn up type, you know. And then even when you give me production, whatever feeling I get from that particular production, that's what I write. And so it usually don't take me too long to write music. If I'm really feeling it, it takes me no more than 5 minutes. And that's with a hook, a couple verses, maybe a pre-chorus, stuff like that. A couple minutes. But sometimes, you know, I say the longest I took to write a song was about 15, 20 minutes. Because it's like when I'm really into it, I can't stop. I really can't. It's like, I mean, I'm constantly getting ideas and getting, you know, words to go into the song. And so I can't stop at all. So when I'm in it, I'm in it. I see tunnel vision. So, and then when I'm in the studio, I'm focused. I'm focused. I know exactly how I want the song to go. I know how I want the hook to go. I know how I want the verses to go. You know, I know exactly how I want everything to go. So it really don't take me that long to record. Um, I recorded, man, one time I recorded 4 or 5 songs in like an hour and a half. Honestly, like an hour and a half. And that was a 3-hour session. So yeah, I know how I want stuff to go. And you know, it really don't take me that long. And so when you know how you want your music to go and how you want the production to go, and I gotta throw this out there. Whenever I am in the studio, I always, you know, establish a relationship with the engineer, because I definitely want to get into engineering as well too. I establish a relationship with the engineers. I give them free control, creative control over, you know, doing different things with my music and stuff like that. But sometimes I tell them what I want them to do. So it's good to, you know, have an idea of how you want your music to flow, how you want it to go, you know, how you want everything structured. So you can even chime in on, you know, how you want the engineer to put different things and so forth. So yeah, that's my whole process, at least.
Now, let's talk about this name JAYY WAY,
Hmm.
because I see that you had a series of names. It started with J Productions and then J Pro. How did you come up with your name?
Well, I wanted to incorporate my real name with my stage name. So my real name, for those who don't know, my real name is Kendall. you know, and then I get the J from my last name, Jarman, and I just took the first letter of my last name and created. I first went as J Tracks, you know, that was like my first name, and then, you know, my uncles and my family called me K-Town. I was thinking about going by K-Town and stuff like that, but I was like, nah, there's too many K-Towns in the world. So yeah, so I went by J Tracks then, you know. I noticed that everybody was going by J Tracks, so I was like, well, I'm gonna just go by J Productions, and I took the S off Productions and just added a Z to the end. So it was J Productions, and you know, like I said, that was my producer name. Um, and then yeah, when I started rapping, um, I would say my name in the raps, but I would just cut it short. Instead of just saying J Productions, because that's a lot of syllables, I would just say J Pro. And so I went as J Pro for a while, and I still go by that name. But then just recently, I went by JAYY, you know, so I'm JAYY now. And, you know, I just feel like that JAYY name came from me when I would, you know, give inspirational quotes on Instagram. And I would put Jay's Way because it's how I view the world, how I see the world and stuff like that. And so I was just like, you know, JAYY sound like a cool name. And how my music is, you know, that comes from my heart, that comes from my soul. That comes from my heart, that comes from my soul. So I was like, I'm gonna just go by JAYY because that's the music that comes out of me is the way that, you know, I feel my thoughts and feelings on the world and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna just go by JAYY, and so that's what it is now. You can still call me J Pro, you can still call me J Productions. You know, some people know me as K Town. You know, other people know me by my government name, you know, which is Kendall Jarman and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm JAYY, J Pro, you know, or J, you know, whatever you want to call me. So yeah.
All right. So on mainstream radio,
Hmm.
the push show on mainstream radio,
Yeah.
which airs Monday through Thursday,
Yeah.
7 p.m. to 10 p.m. on the Mixler app.
Right.
Download the free Mixler app and search up mainstream radio.
Right.
You have a question that you ask artists that come through the station,
Yeah.
and that question is your top 5 artists or top 5 producers.
Hmm.
Who are your top 5 artists and producers? It doesn't have to be in any order, but who are they, in your opinion?
Well, you know, I listen to so much music, so there's so many greats out here. Um, so I can't really. I have a top 5 for every category, but if we just talking in terms of hip hop, my top 5 will be this. Um, of course, Tupac at number one, Tupac at one, Biggie at two, Jay-Z at three, Eminem at four, and Lil Wayne at five. And then as far as producers, man, that is so many producers. I'm really a fan of For Real. Um, I'm a fan of course, classic Kanye. Um, I'm a fan of Take Keeps. I'm a fan of um, London, and I'm a fan of um, oh man, who's the fifth? Who's the fifth? Um, I like Wheezy. I like Wheezy out of here. You
Okay.
know, I really like him. I like his style of production and so forth. So, yeah, yeah, those will be my 5 producers, my 5 artists. You know, that's just as far as hip hop. Like I said, I have a top 5 for every category: old school, um, you know, pop, you know, rock, and so forth. It's so many artists that I listen to. So, but that's my top 5 on the hip hop side.
All right. So you have this current debate of Lil Durk and Future.
Hmm. Yeah.
Who would you put as far as like lyrically? Who do you got, Future or Lil Durk?
Well, lyrically, it'll go to Dirk automatically. He is a lyricist. I would definitely be honest about that. He's a lyricist. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Dirk's. I'm definitely a fan of Dirk's. I'm a fan of Future too. I'm a fan of both. But if we just basing it strictly off lyrics and lyricism, hands down is Dirk.
Because the question was, are we basing it off of lyrics? Are we basing it off body of work? Are we basing it off hits? You know, what were we basing it off of?
Well, for me, I was basing it off of hits and body of work. And I just feel like Future's hits and body of work is greater than Dirk's. But in terms of
So
like,
you putting Future over Dirk?
yeah, yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, if we're just talking about lyrics and making meaningful, conscious music and making music that makes you think, because that's what I'm into. Music that makes you think and makes you see the world differently. Um, that goes to Dirk, because Dirk does, make a lot of pain music. I call it pain music. It's music from his experiences in life and stuff like that. And he makes music that does make you think. And it's not just all turn up all the time or um, talk about, um, drugs and smashing different chicks, smashing the hoes and whatnot. Ain't about the hoes and things along those lines. But he's versatile. The Future is versatile too. But I rock with Dirk's lyricism, definitely.
Okay. Cause I interviewed Sleep Barcelini, and
Yeah,
he
shout out
kind
to
of
Sleep, shout out to Bro.
he
Yes,
kind of
sir.
said the same thing. He was putting Future over Lil Durk, and I interviewed a couple of other people, and they said they were putting Lil Durk over Future.
Yeah, it's just a matter of opinion. It's a matter of who you feel is greater than the other. Like I said, that's just my personal opinion. I would put Future over Dirk, but I'm not saying that he's a better artist or he's better than Dirk. I'm just saying I would just put him as far as list go. I would put him over Dirk, um, just because of the body of work and the hits and everything. So that and again, like I said, that's just my personal opinion.
All right. So with you being an artist, I know you've seen all over Instagram that they're doing like this versus thing
Yeah.
with between different artists, and right now there's a versus brewing between T.I. and 50 Cent. What do you think of the versus battles that are going on right now on the internet?
Man, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's pretty cool. Um, with the Ti and 50 Cent, that's actually a really dope battle. And for the record, I'm going with Ti on that one. I'm going with Ti over 50. But I think it's pretty cool. They just did a Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight. I got Gladys over on that one. I think Gladys. Uh, I don't know. I just think her range is well. Patty got range too, but I don't know. It's just something about Gladys's music that not taking nothing away from Patty. Patty is dope, but I think Gladys, yeah, she's up there. But I like the versus battles, I really do. But the two people that battle have to match up. You can't have like let's say, R. Kelly go against somebody like Jacquees. You can't be having that. Or even a R. Kelly versus Michael Jackson. You can't do that either. Because it's like, man, both of them are legends, but it's like, those wouldn't work. In my opinion, they wouldn't work.
Okay. All right. So in this age of coronavirus, um, people being in quarantine, people being on lockdown,
Yeah.
knowing some states have lifted restrictions, what have you done during lockdown, during the quarantine period, to help you as an artist stay relevant in the game?
Read. If you want to stay relevant, you have to read on ways to keep yourself relevant and on the music scene.
Were you still recording music during that time or no?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a project out, of course, with you and Sleep. Shout out to Sleep. We got a collaboration project coming out. Um, for those who don't know, I have some music coming out, even though it's from one of my older projects, but it's just a few older songs mixed with a few unreleased songs that I haven't released yet. So I have a project coming out, um, and then of course, I've been writing. You know, I play in a band, so I've been working with the band. Shout out to Timeless. You know, JoJo and Yvette, that's our singers, and my dad, our dad. So yeah, I've been keeping busy, and just being productive. That's what it's all about. Even though you're in quarantine and you're locked away in the house, that don't mean you stop your grind. That don't mean you stop hustling. That don't mean you stop finding ways to be productive. You can still be productive during quarantine. The grind never stops.
What's your take on today's hip hop versus hip hop from the 90s?
Today's hip hop is trash. Honestly, it's trash. Um, And I say that because everybody is copying off one another. Everybody wants to be the next Future. Everybody wants to be the next Dirt. Everybody wants to be the next Lil Baby. Everybody on the production side, everybody wants to be the next Metro. And it's like, be the next you. Lil Baby is doing a great job being him. Dirk is being a great job of being him. Future doing a great job of being him. You be the next you. And that's the problem with today's hip hop. Everybody wants to be a carbon copy of the next guy, or a guy that's already out here. And that's not how it should go. See, back in the 90s, everybody was original. Everybody had their own sound. Everybody had their own style of doing things. Everybody had their own way of doing things. And that's what makes the 90s and the older generation of hip hop, to me, better than this new version. Because this new version, it's just...
Because, see, the trend now is that artists today are sampling from 90s hip hop records, or really even the early 2000s songs that came out.
But they are. That's what Hitmaker does. Hitmaker is sampling a lot of 90s hip hop, early 2000s hip hop, and it's like, that's cool and all. I don't have a problem with it, but it's like, I want to hear you.
So what you saying is there's no authenticity now. There's no
Not
creativity.
Not at all. Creativity is gone.
Okay.
It's gone.
And so what you're offering with your music is something different than what's out today.
It has to be different. If it's not different, then it's just going to be more the same, which is this garbage that we got out now.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If a label came to you and said, "Hey, JAYY, we want your music to replicate Lil Baby or what's hot now," would you allow them to do that or no?
No, because I'm not Lil Baby. I'm JAYY. I'm not Lil Baby at all. And that, like I said, that's the problem. Everybody, these labels, and I know it's the labels too. The labels force these artists to be like the next, Future, the next Lil Baby, and it's like, you're not them. Be you. And that's why I just feel like it's best to stay independent. You have free reign over what you're gonna do.
All right, so hip hop recording artist Icky Hanno was once signed to Gold Supreme Empire.
Yeah.
Recently, back in June, there was a report that he was dropped from the label. What's your reaction to Icky Hanno being dropped from Gold Supreme Empire?
It was a business move. It's a business decision. He did some things that was affecting the artists, the other artists in the label, which he essentially was going to affect the business, um, and was going to affect the entire label. And so it was my decision, you know, mine and yours. Well, first it was everybody's decision because we asked everybody how they felt about it. But it just needed to be done, you know, because we kept getting complaints from other artists and so forth about things that he was doing that was detrimental to, the label. And there were some things that I saw that I really didn't too much care for. So it was a business move. It was nothing personal. And I know he probably still feels like it's personal, but it was strictly a business move. Um, I still hold a great deal of respect for Hanno. You know, I still value him as as a as a bro, because we all grew up together. I mean, you guys went to school together. I watched him grow up, um, and so he's still a bro. But I just need him to get his business sense together and get some other issues squared away, and just get better in certain areas in his life. And man, if he could do all that and be consistent with it, you know, and stay out of trouble, keep his nose clean, then you know I wouldn't be opposed to him returning.
So you are open to him possibly returning to Gold Supreme Empire.
Yeah, but he has to show that he's a changed man. He has to show that.
So
You know,
what will be some things that he has to do in order to be eligible to return back to Gold Supreme?
well, I don't want to put his business out there like that, but he knows what he needs to work on. Just like we know what he needs to work on. If he works on those particular things, um, and if he, like I said, if he stays out of trouble, keep his nose clean, and work on those areas that he failed, then yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to him coming back.
All right, all right. Let's I know you like to dabble into, talks about relationships and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely,
what's your
definitely.
stance on marriage? What's your stance on being single? What's your take on marriage and everything?
Well, I start off with the marriage. I think marriage is a beautiful thing. I'm a spiritual man, so God created marriage. He created woman for man, man for woman. So marriage is a beautiful thing. Once you find your wife, the Bible says you find a good thing. So I look forward to finding my good thing. Um, and I think some people nowadays, they don't view marriage seriously or take it seriously, or you know view the process, the whole dating process, to get serious about it. And marriage is one of those decisions in life where you have to be absolutely sure about this decision you're making. um, you shouldn't get married because of a business move, because I feel like certain people use it as like it's a contract. It's a contract. It's a business move. Marriage should be strictly based on love, based on love, based on trust, based on, hey, I see you for me, me for you. There's nobody else that I want by my side other than you. So marriage is a beautiful thing, and like I said, I really pray that I find my beautiful thing one of these days. And I know she out here. It's just that maybe I'm not ready, maybe she not ready, or maybe the time ain't right. Um, Things along those lines, which brings me to singleness. When you're single, I just feel like you should use that time to have fun. Have fun, learn more about yourself, learn your love language, which is what I put in one of my quotes on Instagram. Learn your love language and learn, how to, how to love yourself, and then in return, you can learn how to love somebody else, and learn their love language. Everybody has a different way of loving. Everybody has their own love language. What you may like, what you view important, the next person might not view that, or they might view something else important. So it's just a matter of learning yourself, loving yourself, and then you'll be ready to love somebody else. So I think both are important. Being single, gets you ready for marriage, and then once you're married, man, you got to make sure that that's whoever you decide to marry. Make sure that's the right person, man, because that's a lifelong commitment. We talking till death do you part. And so that's the beautiful thing about, our folks. They stay married till death did them part. Unfortunately, our mother passed away. Rest in peace to our moms. But she was a godsend. And pops always tell us he prayed for mom. He didn't know it was going to be moms that he would marry, but he prayed for her, and she appeared in his life. And so um, it's definitely important, I feel like, for you to pray for your significant other. Pray that God sends that person in your direction. And once once that person does come into your path, keep praying. Be like, ask God, hey, God, is this the person that you got for me? Or, hey, God, am I making the right decision here by, rocking with this person? Am I supposed to be with this person? Man, keep asking him. Keep asking, and he'll give you your answers. So,
All right. So now Ti did a Crime Stoppers commercial. I
yeah,
want to say a little over 10 years ago.
yeah,
He did a Crime Stoppers commercial, and it was part of a legal stipulation that because he was facing a gun charge at that time.
okay,
So recently the video resurfaced, and some artists came out and said that oh he's a rat, this, that, and the third, because he did this commercial and only did maybe a year and a day in prison for being in possession of guns.
right.
What's your definition of snitching, and do you think Ti snitched?
Um, Man, that's a loaded question. So, I don't think he snitched. I think he did what he had to do in order to not face extensive jail time. Because who wants to stay in prison for an extended period of time? You know,
Because a gun charge is a lot of time in prison.
right? And they were
you know
they were talking about giving him at least what 30 years for that.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, come on now, like let's be real. It's either I do this Crime Stoppers commercial, get a lesser sentence, or I do the full 30 years.
Because some people are offered a plea deal,
Exactly.
and some, you know, when you go to trial, you're at risk of losing the trial. If you lose the trial, that's more time. And so a lot of people will just take the plea, even if they're innocent, you know. But I guess now the question is, would you do the Crime Stoppers commercial or no?
I would. If it is, if I know I'm guilty on something, I mean, and they have evidence, because that's the thing. 9 times out of 10, they do have evidence, or they back you into a corner where you have no choice but to snitch. So, if that'll get me out of doing some time, I will do the Crime Stoppers, that's something that I'm glad you brought up this question, because people don't realize, you know, the law don't play fair. They really don't. So people be saying, oh, I would never snitch, or oh, I'll never do this, that, and the third. Well, hell, you never been in that situation. You never been in that position. For the ones who've never experienced being, you know, in prison, or never dealt with the feds, nothing like that. You see, this is the thing about the feds. You know, they dig deep into your past, and they find whatever dirt that they can find, or they'll involve your family, they'll involve your guys, they'll do whatever it takes to get you to rat on a particular person or rat on yourself. All Everybody falls, everybody, and just for prime example, Frank Lucas. Man, Frank Lucas was one of the world's biggest drug kingpins. I'm talking about that man went straight to the source for his product. He went straight to the source. He didn't have no middleman, and it was a lot of white federal officers. They looking at this man like, you know, how is this man doing what he doing? And they didn't believe that he was as smart as he was, because man was highly intelligent. He was highly intelligent, but his only downfall was when he went to that. I forget who was the boxer that he went to go see. But he went to this boxing match. He had on his lavish fur coat and everything, and he was sitting front row with all the stars and everything. And the feds, of course, taking pictures. They like, man, who is this guy, and stuff like that. And so that's what really did him in. It was the fact that his wife bought him that coat, and he wore it just to show her that, hey, I appreciate you buying this for me. So. Because his thing was, don't be too flashy. That's how you bring attention to yourself, which is true. If you out here flashing all kind of money, and you're doing some dirt, you flashing all kind of money and this, that, and the third, you bring unwanted attention to yourself.
So that's what ruined him in the end.
That's what ruined him. That's what did him in.
All right, so while we're on this topic, I interviewed Sleep Barcelini,
Yeah.
Tamisha Brown,
Yeah.
and Nino the Underboss.
Shout out to the label, GSC.
They all said that they wouldn't do the commercial. They said they would do the time.
mean, that's what they would do. I'm different. I wouldn't do the time. Because especially, like I said, if I know I'm guilty and, like, they got me dead to rights. I know I'm guilty. They got evidence that I did this crime. So, in order for me to get out of doing the time, all you got to do is a Crime Stoppers commercial. Simple math. Just go ahead and do the commercial.
Because I think one of the stipulations was, you know, with the Crime Stoppers commercial, they was going to have a bunch of cops in the background. This is that and the third. And he was like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Well, I mean, you know, everybody lives by a code. Everybody lives by a code. They have a code and whatnot. Um, because I stand by a code too. My code is I stand by and it's similar to the military when it comes to, I guess, the homosexuals. Is the don't ask, don't tell. You know, if you don't ask me a particular question, then I don't feel like I'm obligated to tell. So I stand by that code, and then I also stand by, hey, you know, if I see like his family or one of my guys, you know, participating in something that I don't too much agree with, you know, and I know the people who are involved, and you know, you're doing something against somebody else, so hey, that's not my business. You do you, but I will tell you about yourself. I'll tell you, hey, you out of line for that. I ain't gonna say nothing because that's none of my business, but I'll tell you, hey, you out of line for that. Definitely, you out of line. But yeah, like I said, everybody has their own code. So, you know, for, you know, bro and sis, you know, hey, if they want to do the time, hey, they'll do the time. Me, I'm different. You know, I would do the Crime Stoppers commercial.
Okay. Now, Tekashi 6ix9ine has been in the news. Recently released from prison. He's out here making music and everything. But a lot of people, and we're still on the snitching topic, by the way.
Okay.
A lot of people saying, "Oh, he's a rat," you know, this is that and the third. What's your take on Tekashi 6ix9ine?
Um, well, I'm gonna say this. He does do a lot of, you know, things to draw attention to himself.
Like, I know you know he came to Chicago
Yeah,
to Oak Block, and
he was actually on 103rd too, by that Harrow's
he was on 103rd and
in Halsted.
Halsted.
Yep, yep,
Wow.
by that Harrow's. Yeah. Now this is the thing about him, because I got a lot to say about him. Um, like I said, he does do things for clout. He do things for attention, and I just feel like he does do a lot of he does have clownish ways. And then the fact that, you know, you try to portray yourself to be something that you're not. You know, you got with, you know, the Treyways and everything. You got with those group of guys, and you know, they really from the streets. They really from the streets, and they really about their life. You're not. So why would you portray yourself to be something that you're not? That's the worst possible thing that you can do. So with that being said, as far as him snitching and ratting, of course, yeah, he did snitch, he did rat, but I understand why he did it. Honestly, I understand why he did it, and it's like you're facing 50 years. So you mean to tell me that you're going to protect a group of people who tried to kill you? They smashed your girl, attempted to kill your mother, stole from you, and tried to kidnap you, and all this other, you know, uh, all that other stuff that he was talking about. And it's like, so, and it's almost like you got to put yourself in that situation. What would you do? You facing 50 years to life in prison if you don't rat, and if you do rat, you get out, you know, at a certain period of time. And mind you, these people who you ratting on mean you no good at all, none. So again, it's simple math, man. And you know, people are mad that he's snitching everything, and I be looking at these people. I'm like, if you was in that same predicament, you would do the same thing. And I don't care what nobody say. You'll do the same exact thing. Everybody folds. Everybody. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how you know how much clout you got. Everybody folds. Like I said, I gave you Frank Lucas, and he eventually he had to. He ain't had no choice. They look, the feds and You know, they always back you into a corner to where you have no choice. You have no choice. So, and they, like I said, they gonna find something on you or use your family. They gonna get something on you. So, like I said, I understand why he made the move that he made, but yeah, he did rat, he did snitch, and it's like, you know, what's keeping him relevant is the fact that people keep bringing him up, people keep talking about him, people keep giving him attention. If you don't give him attention, if you don't talk about him, he'll go away. As simple as that. But nah, you want to talk
Well,
about
in all fairness, we talking about him right now, so.
true. Yeah, we are. Touche. Touche. Damn, you right. Touche.
So,
But
would you consider yourself a rat? You know, would you snitch in that case, or or
if I was in his predicament,
yeah?
yeah. I mean,
Okay, so
come on.
you would talk.
Yeah, cause come on now. These people mean you no good. They tried to kidnap you. They tried to kill your mom. They tried to kill you. They smashed your girl. They stole from you. Why do I have to remain loyal to a group of people that do that?
Well, some people want to portray an image. They want to portray the tough exterior that they really out here, and so
But realistically, let's be real. Let's be real. You're not that guy. You're not as tough as you come off to be. You're not. So it's like you have to face reality after a certain point, and the reality is 6ix9ine is not. He's not that dude. He's really not. And so it showed because he made the move that he made. Like I said, I understand why he made it. Other people don't understand. They just see it as, hey, he a rat, he a snitch, this, that, and the third. It's like, well, you got to understand, it's a chess move. It's a chess move. These niggas want you dead. So, are you gonna protect people who want you dead? Who want your mama dead? Come on now. It's like we gotta be real here.
all right. So now I want to talk about FBG Duck. We lost him back in, I believe it was August, the early part of August or the latter part of July.
Yeah.
Um, what was your reaction to hearing his passing?
Man, I was honestly shocked. I was shocked. I was like, damn, they got ducked. But at the same token, I was saying this. That was an inside job. That was somebody close to him that did him in. Plain and
Cause,
simple.
cause we lost Pop Smoke early this year as well.
Same thing. Same thing with him. They came to his crib and, you know, look, if anybody know where you stay, and if anybody know where you stay and they come at a specific time, then that's somebody that's close to you that did that. Or, somebody that's close to you that ordered that type of hit. 'Cause those are hits, man.
Well,
Those are
I
hits.
mean, it's a lot of jealous people out here. You
It
know.
is, but that's why you gotta watch the company that you keep. You gotta watch your surroundings. You gotta watch the people that's in your inner circle, because everybody that's around you don't mean you well. So you really gotta screen the people that's around you. So for those two situations, that's unfortunate. That they resulted in the death of those two artists, but you know, those both of those were inside jobs, definitely. And
All
I
right.
hope they find the people that's responsible.
So I saw FBG Duck in one of the in a Vlad TV interview, and Vlad was saying, you know, was asking Duck if he would ever leave Chicago, and
Yeah,
FBG Duck said he wouldn't leave Chicago because he had to worry about, like, because he was like, he doesn't trust a lot of people.
yeah,
So he was like, why would I leave my home city and have to be on the lookout for these new people around me and all this other stuff in a different city. So, but now that he had passed, a lot of people have been coming out saying that he should have left Chicago. Do you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that because it's like you have a better chance at a better life someplace else. Why stay here? You know that people are after you here. So why would you keep yourself in a situation where you know it's going to result in you dying, essentially? So it's like if you're in the streets and if you become like a rapper, if you become a rapper or something, and you come into some money and whatnot, and you, like I said, you active in the streets, you can't stay here. You got too many, like you said, you got too many jealous people. You got people who want you dead. Why stay here? You got to think. You got to use your brain.
Well, now, what if he just moved to like the suburbs or so, like, or to another county?
I wouldn't suggest he move to the suburbs. Get out of here. Get
So just
far away from it.
leave
Leave
Chicago, leave Illinois altogether.
altogether. Go way out yonder. Go where it's nothing but white folks.
But now remember, he said, you know, I know people here. I know a lot of people here. All, you know, my life is here. This is that and the third.
And that's
Why
cool.
did I? Why? Like, if I leave, I have to worry about. Like, I got these new people around me in a new city, and I got to worry about them crossing me. This is that and the third.
But see, that's a terrible way of looking at the situation. See, if you leave, you don't have to worry about nothing out there because nobody knows you. You're not from there. Nobody knows you, so you really don't have nothing to fear. Especially if you just leave, if you just up and leave, you don't tell nobody where you going. Then how would people know where to find you? If you stay here, they know where to find you, and they gonna get you eventually. And that's exactly what happened. So it's like, man, no, you gotta leave. You can't stay here. You can't stay, especially the fact you got kids. Move your kids out. Move your family out. You move out. You don't tell nobody nothing about where you going. Just leave. Plain and simple.
Okay. So when you get when that really big break hits J-Way,
Hmm.
is J-Way leaving Chicago?
Uh, More than likely. Well, see, this the thing. I'm not a street nigga. I'm not in the streets. I don't come from the streets, but I do have a lot of street niggas who I'm real cool with, who I'm real solid with. Those my dogs, and they'll be my dogs for life. And shout out to those particular niggas. But so I don't have nothing to worry about. So I don't have to leave. Essentially, I don't have to. But if you active in the streets and you come up on some money and some bread and some fame, you gotta go. See, it's different for people like me. People like me, I don't have nothing to worry about. I ain't got nobody after me. But at the same token, I know I got some people who may be jealous and this, that, and the third. So, but at the end of the day, man, God got me. You know, I'm covered in His blood. But man, if you active in the streets and you know you got enemies who want to see you perish, go, man. There's nothing for you here any longer. Even though it's true, your home is here, your family's here, people that you know are here. It means you no good. It doesn't do you any good to stay here. Just go. Just go. I mean, you got the bread now. Go start a new life someplace else. That's what I would do if I was in that predicament.
Yeah, yeah. It's sad. You know, R.I.P. to FBG
Yeah,
Duck, and
yeah.
you know, condolences to his family
Condolences to FBG Duck and his
and
family.
to Pop Smoke.
Right, to Pop Smoke's family, to FBG Duck's family. And I hate that happened to those two brothers. Um, but, you know, this should be a lesson to anybody. I'm talking directly to y'all. I'm talking directly to y'all. If y'all active in the streets and you come up on fame and fortune and money, don't stay here, man. Don't do it. You know, at least with Chief Keef, at least he moved to LA. You know, he moved far away.
All right, J-Way, we finna wrap up the interview. Where can people stay in contact with you as far as like social media wise, and what are some things that you have coming up?
My social media, my IG is at J double underscore way. So that's uh, JAYY double underscore way. My Facebook is JAYY Way. Um, and then as far as my upcoming projects, I've got a project coming out called JAYY Way, self-titled, but it's under the J Pro name. So that's going to be on all streaming platforms. That's going to be dropping this Friday, actually. The What is that? The 17th, 18th? Yeah, the 18th.
18.
Yeah. So yeah, this Friday at midnight, the 18th, September 18th. I got some music dropping. I also got a collaboration project with you and Sleep coming out November. Looking at November for a target date. I got some things that I'm working on as far as like with live music. So of course I'm a drummer, so I'm working with a few bands. Of course, our band Timeless. We still working on some things. I'm working with this other cat by the name of Lee. He's got a group. He's doing like a Isley Brothers tribute, so I'm gonna be playing the drums for that. Yeah, I'm just looking to stay productive, continue to build on my portfolio, my musical portfolio, continue to build on my brand, because we got our brand, which is GSE, Gold Supreme Empire. We're looking to build and expand the brand. We got a clothing line, the GSE clothing line. We're going to make a return with that. And we got a lot of other things in store. So just staying productive and just trying to stay relevant, and hopefully, people rock with what we're doing. Yeah.
All right. JAYY, thank you for stopping through.
Man, I appreciate the interview. I appreciate, the time and everything. Hopefully, I reach somebody with the answers that I gave. You get a synopsis of how I am and who I am as a person, and yeah, rock with JAYY.
All right, JAYY, thank you for stopping through, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You at the office about to get in the car.
Check this out.
Break out your smartphone, open your browser, and type in DJ Key Product mixtapes on your iPhone, Droid. Turn it up. You at the office about to get in the car.
Check this out.
Break out your smartphone, open your browser, and type in DJ Key Product mixtapes on your iPhone, Droid. Turn it up. Chicago Supplier TV.com. Go ahead and fuck with it.